Okay, welcome to Thursday morning yoga. Let's all take a comfortable seat. And let's come into awareness of our breath. And let's continue to feel in to the koans we introduced on Tuesday. The first one is, are we breathing or are we being breathed? And as you settle into your breathing practice, notice, am I pulling the breath in and pushing it out? Or can I allow the exhale to fall away and invite the inhale to fill me? Now, if you have a cold, that might be a little bit more challenging. You might feel like you're doing a little more work with the breath. But in general, are we doing more work than necessary in our practice and in our movements in daily life? So see if you can let the exhales fall away and just invite the inhales in without force. And settle into awareness of what we're not often aware of, our breath. And we may gently change the invitation of the in-breath from just inviting it in and anywhere to inviting it deeper into the abdomen. But still, it's an invitation, an expansion of consciousness. And after the exhale falls away, see if you can notice a still point, a pause, before the invited inhale enters the body. See if the body, mind, and heart can relax into that pause. A second koan invites the contemplation of where does the breath go as we breathe it in? Where does the exhale go? I heard a beautiful podcast this morning in my episodes of The Way Out is In. And the brother who was guiding the meditation said, As we exhale out to the trees, we offer them carbon dioxide. And as the trees exhale out to us, we take in their oxygen, offering gifts and receiving gifts. Where does the breath go? And our final contemplation for the practice today is, what will happen if you don't lift yourself up in the pose? If you relax fully into your seat and sink, what happens? What happens when you release the holding patterns in the body? Let's take these contemplations into the rest of our day, inhaling hands to our hearts. May we be present with the contemplations without having to fully answer the question. Namaste. Hey, let's come to standing. And let's begin to move like water and allow for the flow. And as the body begins to flow, notice how the breath flows. And if here, as the body moves, you can still let the exhales fall away. And let the arms fall away, dangling down from the shoulders. No need to hold them up or pull them into the body, but allow them to gently flow with a spaciousness and open ease. And then let the arms flow into gentle figure eights, one palm up, one palm down. Perhaps that flow moves into a gentle twist. And even here, we invite the exhales to fall away.
I have to run out for a few minutes, but I'll be back.
Okay. The shoulders release down away from the head. The body flow from side to side. And let the hands be really low down by the hips so the arms can really release downward. Flow down with the released exhale. And let the focus be on letting go, on not lifting up away from earth, but releasing down. Releasing foot to foot, releasing the hips, releasing the shoulder girdle. And then with this release still in mind, float up on one side and then the other. And still, as the arms come down, let them go, so that we learn to release in the shoulder joint to maintain space inside the shoulder. And as we let go, the upper trap, the back of the neck, and the shoulder cap, we release tension from the neck down through the spine, allowing the sacrum and the hips to release down each time we step through center. Warming up the body with a little fluid movement. And then we come back to center and bring the hands beside the hips and inhale, lift to the heart and a curl over to the spine. And we flow, inviting vertebrae to lift away from vertebrae, inviting space between the vertebrae. And even as we turn the backs of the hands towards each other, can we release down through the arms? Let the arms fall away with the breath. Let the shoulder blades fall away from each other. And release tension down and out through the fingertips. And then floating back up, let's take the right shoulder up, back and around, and then the left, stretching the shoulder away from the opposite toe. Letting the focus be on the release, the downward motion, the letting go, like we let go of the exhales. This is the release of Apanavayu, the wind of letting go, tension out of the body. And let's step our feet a little bit wider, turning the toes out, let the knees bend. Bring the forearms together, low at just a little bit angle up with the wrists. And inhale, open the arms, not even fully, not even stretching back. And then close and open. And now begin to turn towards the left, closing and opening, keeping the elbows hanging long. The head of the humerus releasing as we open the fascia side to side, come back through center towards the right. And feel how you can stretch open the back left side of the rib cage as you move the arms towards each other at the right. Come back through center and take it to the left. Keeping the right knee open behind you. Take it back through center. And one more time around to the right. Allowing the movement to help you stretch open the back body. We lift up, straighten the legs, turn the left foot out, take the right heel back, star pose. Bending into your left knee. Pause. Now, if we aren't holding the pose up, what happens? See where inside the asana you can let go. What if we're no longer doing the asana, but the asana is doing us? Fluid breath. And you can either stay here in Virat-2 or lift the front palm, resting the back hand down, resting into your dancing warrior. On your exhale, as it falls away, let the shoulder girdle relax down. Invite the inhale without force. Find a place in the pose where you can relax vertebrae away from vertebrae, where they're not straining to hold each other up. You may not be as deep in the pose, but let today's practice be one of releasing, letting go into the pose. And then come back through Viratu to Parsvottanasana, either hand on the hip or arms stretched overhead. And bow heart towards earth. And inhale heart towards the heaven. And make sure this feels good in your shoulder joint. This feels good in your spine. Fluid breath, reaching crown away from pelvis, inviting for movement inside the torso. And next time you come heart facing towards the earth, pause. Reach out through the right fingertips and then let go into the pose. Sink. Inviting the breath up under the skin and between the ribs. As the exhales let go, let the pose relax. And float back up, taking the upper arm, rainbowing over, breathing into the upper side body. But it isn't a forced breath, it's an invitation. And then an observation of where the breath goes. And on your next exhale, pressing down to the feet, float back up into your warrior two. And instead of holding the pose up, let it sink towards earth. Let it expand. Where can you release tension? And straightening the front leg, let's come forward today into our high trikonasana. Shoulder blades on the back, making sure we're not hyperextending the knees. And float up into our high trikonasana, allowing the left arm bone to relax down, humerus bone. Even the bones of the palms can release earthward. We're not holding them up. We're allowing them to release earthward inside the myofascial matrix. And floating back to star pose. Turn the left leg in and the right leg out and sink into your Virabhadrasana too. Fluid breath. There is an energy we can activate that lifts us up from the ground. But today, let's allow for release towards earth with the exhales. Allow ourselves to sink into the pose and let the pose itself align us. Can we be in the pose without doing? Turning the right palm up, let's inhale into dancing warrior. Exhale, let the breath and the body fall away. Let the tension along the spine fall away, even if that means coming out of the pose slightly. And then float forward, coming into your Parsvottanasana. And your hand can stay high on the knee or come down to your forearm and bow heart towards earth and lift heart towards the heaven. Fluid breath. Each exhale, a letting go, not just of the breath, but of the tension in the body. And next time the arm comes up, rainbow the top arm overhead and release the hand. Relax each one of the fingers. Let the wrist draw on the elbow, draw on the side body. And exhale. Float back up and pause in your warrior two, relaxing into the pose. Are you breathing or are you being breathed? Straightening the front leg, float into your high trikonasana. For a moment, press down with the feet, lift the spine, lengthen through the crown, and then settle into the pose. And float up into your dancing warrior. Release the lifted arm down into the body. And as the breath falls away, allow any tension in the torso to release earthward. And release the lifted arm, turning the right foot in. Step the feet together and pause in your mountain pose. Palms facing forward, thumbs out, opening the collarbones. Find the shoulder blades on the back body. Soft knees, let's step them outer hip distance wide. And take an inhale. Invite it in. And on the exhale, twist to the right, staying very aware of the shoulder blades on the back body. Only twist as far as is comfortable. Let the head turn and look out the far corners of the eyes. Knees soft forward. Feel into the right shoulder blade on the back body. And on your next exhale, let tension go. And release back to center and pause for an in-breath. And exhale, twist to the left, guiding with the left shoulder blade, looking out the far left corners of the eyes. Now we might invite the breath into the torso with a little more rigor, with a little more exploration of what's stretched on the inhale. And then as the exhales fall away, we release the collar. And exhale back to center and pause in mountain pose. Third eye hovering over heart, over pelvis, over center of the earth. Step the left foot forward, right foot back, and take a rock step. Both feet land, and as you're ready, bend into the front knee and float your arms up into your warrior one. Remember, that can pause in a T. It can even be hands down by your sides or arms up alongside the ears. Take a few fluid breaths. And for a moment, from the center core, reach the legs down into the earth and extend the spine skyward. Extend through the thumb, index, middle, ring, and pinky fingers. And then exhale, the breath falls away. The body settles towards earth. And let the hands come down to the heart. Inhale up through the crown and twist towards your back leg first, keeping the front knee open and aligned. Look all the way around through the right corners of your eyes. Feel into how you steady your body. Some of that steadiness can come from exhaling and allowing yourself to really sink into the pose. And then inhale back to center. And exhale, a gentle twist towards the front knee and around that side, looking out the far corners of the eyes if you can maintain your balance. sinking into the pose on the exhales. And releasing back to center. Step the feet together and pause in mountain pose. Notice where the energy is moving in the body. And step right foot forward, left foot back, box step. And landing the feet, bend into the front knee. And inhale, float the arms up. Again, from the pelvis, root down into the ground. And from the pelvis, lengthen up into the thumb, index, middle, ring, and pinky fingers. Stretch open from the center point. Lengthen through the crown. And then on your next exhale, let the body settle earthward. What happens in a pose when we are no longer lifting ourselves up into it? Even the fingers can settle towards the palms. The palms can settle towards the elbows towards the shoulders, the heart center towards the lower dantian, the lower dantian through the legs into the earth. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, invite the breath in. Exhale, twist towards the back leg, keeping the front knee open, looking out the far left corners of the eyes. Not twisting so hard, the body begins to grip, able to release with each exhale as it falls away. We have to pause in the poses longer to really feel for the release of the exhales. Notice where you feel it. Right now, I'm feeling it around my heart center, under my thumbs at the sternum. And then exhale back forward. Take an inhale. And as you're ready, exhale, twist to the right, looking out the far right corners of the eyes. If your balance is okay with that. If not, let your gaze be where it needs to be. And exhale, release back to center. Step your feet together and let the arms gently begin to swing around the body. Feel into the invitations of the inhales. Where do they go? And as the exhales fall away, can there be even more relaxation into the twists, into the swing? And let yourself gently and slowly slow the twist, coming back to center. Let the arms swing gently forward to back. And as they swing, invite a release of the muscles of the neck, down into the shoulder girdle, down through the arms into the hands. We aren't holding the arm bones up into their sockets. We're letting them hang and dangle. Inviting the prana to move. Okay. Now, let's bring in our chair and place the seat towards us. And we'll come into a little practice of Virabhadrasana 3, lengthening the spine. So first in Tadasana, let's inhale and reach skyward. Exhale, hands through the heart to the seat of the chair. Inhale into your cow. Exhale, your hissing cat. And inhale, cow. And exhale, hissing cat. And allow the knees to bend towards the chair seat and the tailbone to release earthward. Draw breath into the back body. Still, how much can this be an invitation to fill the back body with breath? And then flow back into neutral. Strong, long spine. Float one leg up behind you. Release the opposite arm off the chair. Perhaps come to fingertips on the standing hand. Now pause here. Invite the inhale in, and as the exhale falls away, settle into the pose. If you're ready, release the hand from the seat of the chair. If you'd like to, float the arms up as wings, or even take the arms alongside the ears. What happens if you don't hold the pose up? What happens if your dog comes under your foot and begins to move around? Exhale, release your hands to the seat of the chair, your foot to the floor. Inhale, your cow. Exhale, your hissing cat, knees bend, tailbone releases, and let your hips rest earthward. Take a few inhales and exhales, allowing the back body to stretch open. As you release the breath, release the tightness along the back body. And then float back up, neutral spine. Float the next foot up behind you. Release the opposite hand off the seat of the chair and pause. Land fully in the pose, sinking earthward. Perhaps come to your fingertips. Perhaps float both arms off the chair seat. Both arms up like wings, or up alongside the ears. Sinking into the posture. Even if that means you might fall over. Fluid breath. Hands to the seat of the chair, foot down. Inhale your cow. Exhale, hissing cat. Let the tailbone come earthward. Knees bend, hands float to the heart. Utkatasana. Fierce pose. Still letting the hips settle down. The shoulders relax. Fluid breath. Sink onto both feet. Feel both feet steady and see, can you float to one toe? Can you float that foot up off the floor? And still, as the exhale falls away, can you settle into the pose? And release, stepping up onto the other toe. Perhaps floating it up, and then exhale, releasing the tension even in the hip of the lifted leg. And stepping down, releasing your hands, floating up to mountain pose, palms forward. Let your hands float a little up beside the hips, like your thumbs are being lifted by a string. And on your next exhale, knees soft, twist gently one direction. Following the shoulder blade around with your gaze, letting tension fall away in the exhales. letting the collar release. And coming back to center, take a deep inhale, exhale, guided by the neck shoulder blade. Fluid breath, perhaps looking out the far corners of the eyes. In doing this, we are working with the occipital nerve and the occipital muscles and the fascia that interconnects it all. And exhale back around. Pause in your mountain pose. Invite each breath, each inhale in. Let each exhale fall away. As you're ready, step your right foot up onto the chair. Inhale, lift up through the spine, palate over heart over pelvis. And either inhale your hands to your heart or reach them up overhead. And for a moment from the pelvis, root down and stretch skyward. It's a spanda. Really reach out. And then on the exhale, let the body release into the hug of gravity. Hands coming down to the heart. Inhale, filling the body. Exhale, begin to twist towards your lifted leg. Bring the back of the front hand across the knee and open the back arm back. Fluid breath. Can you still feel aware of your shoulder blades? Can they still release slightly down? Invite the breath to fill the torso, to move the fascia around your organs and intestines. To massage tissue along the spine. And each exhale is a release of the collar. And we float back around, palms coming together at the heart, and step down. Mountain pose. Can we soften enough that we are being breathed? We are letting go of effort little by little. And then we step gently with ease up onto the chair with the left foot, hands to the heart. And we settle onto the legs. And we inhale, fill the torso, and exhale, twist towards this front leg. Hand coming to back of knee, backhand, left hand opening behind us. We inhale into the heart center. We invite the heart center to expand and release with the breath. But the breath isn't forced. It may be softer. We become aware of the fascial web that gets moved with the breath. And we exhale, hands back to the heart. And step down, mountain pose. Okay. Now let's take the chair so that the back of the chair is facing us. Come into Parsvottanasana. Step one foot forward, the other foot back, and take your rock step. Land your legs so that your hips, as much as possible, are facing down the trail. But remember, you want enough width from the front leg to the back leg to create a good base. And I showed this last week because I saw some people standing pretty narrowly. When you come over like this on a narrow base, it's harder balance because you have a narrow base. So if you step a little farther forward and back, you may have a little more stability. Make sure your feet also are at least as wide as your sit bones. And inhale, reach for the sky. And exhale, fold forward, hands to the back of the chair seat, pressing it forward, lengthening the spine, settling into the pose. Remember, you can always bend the front knee if it feels like too much strain at the sit bone of the front leg. Invite the breath into the body and ask yourself, what happens when I'm no longer holding the pose up? Some of you may want to walk your fingers down to the seat of the chair. Only do this if you are hinging from the hip. Some of you will bring your hands down to blocks or down to the floor. Feel the invitation of the inhale, the letting go of the exhale, and see if the body can follow the invitation as an expansion and the release as a letting go. And then, as you're ready, walk yourself back up out of the pose, lifting heart towards the sky, exhaling, mountain pose. And notice your body's asymmetry after one side. Notice how we become a little bit different as a physical being with each pose. Step the next foot forward, rock step. Land your feet and inhale, reach for the sky, and exhale, fold forward from the hips and press the chair forward. Long spine, breathing space between the vertebrae, drawing the front leg hip crease back, inviting a pulsation inside the body. Maybe you take the pose a little deeper, hands to the seat of the chair or to the floor or to your blocks. If you need to come out of the pose earlier, feel free to do that. Continue to play with this idea of settling into the pose on the exhales. Exploring where the invited inhales go. And as you're ready, walk back up out of the pose, lifting the heart towards the heavens, stepping the feet together and releasing into mountain pose. Palms forward, thumbs out. Feel for the shoulder blades on your back body. And you invite the breath underneath the shoulder blades, relaxing the collar on the exhales. Okay, let's come now to sitting on the chair. with our blocks in front of us and continue working with our twists from a seated position. You may end up wanting your strap because today we will do a little Marichyasana work. So if you want your strap, go ahead and just have it resting on the chair seat behind you. And let's begin. Legs open, hands on our knees. Find your shoulder blades on the back body, a lifted heart center, palate over heart over pelvis, which may mean we lean back a little bit to bring pubic bone and tailbone even if we tend to have an over accentuated lumbar curve. It may be the opposite for some people. Some people may be here, rolled back towards the tailbone and need to bring the pubic bone forward. So you find, how am I going to balance pubic bone to tailbone? Opening both these triangles of the pelvic floor. So we're not curling the tailbone under and shortening that back triangle. Now, inhale, right arm up alongside the ear or right hand to the shoulder. And open across the back body, shoulder blades on the back, heart lifting out in a twist towards the right, a gentle twist towards the right. Engaged right shoulder blade leading the way. Head of the arm bone is well centered. And then exhale. Let the left hand come up to your shoulder. Let's put both hands on the shoulder for a moment and twist towards the left, keeping the right knee open behind you. Twist back to center and twist to the right, keeping the left knee open behind you and center. And follow your breath, exhaling into a twist, feeling for the pause at the bottom of the exhale. Inhaling slowly and smoothly back to center, following your own breath. And then coming back to center, let's release our right hand to the knee left hand to the knee, right arm alongside the ear, and rainbow that upper hand skyward. You may bend the left elbow slightly. Keep both side bodies long and release the collar away from the ears, even as you lengthen through the crown. Some of you will come to your forearms, stretching farther to the side. Releasing the head of the arm bone down into the socket. And if this doesn't feel good, remember you can lengthen the side body with the hand down on the hip and the shoulder blade engaged on the back. Exhale, float back to center and take it to the other side. Originally up on the palm, reach and lengthen the left side body. Maybe the right elbow bends a little as you release the collar away from the ears. Perhaps you come to your forearm and you stretch. Left fingers away from left sit bone. Settle the left sit bone and pelvis onto the chair with your exhales. And on the next exhale, activate the core to float back to center and reach forward towards your blocks, coming into a forward fold, hands wide, fingers wrapped over the front of the block, breathing into the whole circumference of your lowest ribs. Grounding into the sole of the foot, knees open, fluid breath. Now you can stay in this pose, experimenting with following the invited inhale, feeling into the release of letting go the exhale. Or you can release your right arm underneath your body towards your left ankle, releasing the right shoulder earthward. Now, the hand doesn't have to reach the ankle. The forearm could just be resting on the floor. You're still getting a gentle twist, or you can do the more active reach. Three-dimensional breath. And then float back to center, bringing your right hand up onto the block. Left arm may release earthward. It may reach for the right ankle. And then the left shoulder releases earthward. Fluid breath, settling into the pose. Feel the spanda, the pulsation of the inhale and the exhale. And then float, left hand back to block. Walk the blocks in underneath the head. And right hand on the block, float the left wing up, left shoulder blade on the back body. Rooting into the feet of both sides, keeping the knees open, float the left wing up just as high as is right for you. Do not strain in the joint of the shoulder. Fluid, three-dimensional breath, collar releasing away from the head. Pulsing the fascial tissue of the body with the breath. And release the left wing and float the right wing up. And now watch this one, really looking for that integration of the shoulder blade. If holding the arm out doesn't feel good, you can rest the hand even on the right knee, right? Or even the right forearm could rest on the right femur bone. And you'll still have a gentle twist, and you can still lengthen through the crown and work with space between the vertebrae. Beautiful. Make sure you're not throwing the wrists too far back. So, Karen, yeah, bring it down a little. Really integrate the head of the arm bone to the back plane of the body. Yeah. And release it down towards the hip. Yeah, beautiful. Does that make sense? We can talk about it after class too. Fluid breath and release the wing and float back up to sitting and walk the feet together and pause. Feel for the invitation of the inhale and the falling away of the exhale. And as the exhale falls away, can you fall into your seat? And your consciousness begin to make just micro adjustments to make you more comfortable here in your seat. And then, with as little effort as possible, walk your legs around to the right. Hands floating up to the heart. Inhale, length to the spine. Exhale, a gentle twist to the left. Let your head turn when it feels best and look out the far left corners of your eyes. The right back of the right hand can come against the left corner of the knee, and you can open the left arm. Make sure the shoulder is farther back than the wrist. You can see that line. A fluid breath. On the exhales, where can you release towards earth? Where can you let tension fall away in the pose? And release, hands to the heart. Take the legs around to the left. Inhale, length to the spine. Exhale, gently twist. You may begin from the base or the head, or let all kind of move together today. When you've come into the twist, bring the back of the left hand against the right knee, the right arm open. But let the twist come from the collar of the spine, not from throwing the right arm behind you. Yeah, these look good. Now think of a gentle inhaled length up through the crown. And then let the body settle into the pose. Follow the inhale into the body. Feel it move inside you. And exhale back around, coming back to center. Release one hand into the palm of the other, thumbs touching. And feel for the circulation of prana inside of your physical body. If there are places you would like this prana to go, in a shoulder or a knee, or into your sinuses, into your immune system, invite the energy there. Okay. Let's gently stand back up and let's come into um, one more standing pose. Let's come into oh wait, I wanted to do Marityasana. The strap is reminding me. Let's do that before we come to standing and do our final standing pose. So bring your blocks underneath your right leg, your right foot, 2 blocks stacked, and have your sit bones at the front edge of your chair. Lengthening the left leg long. Let's inhale, hands to the heart. And let's exhale, open them out like wings. Today, let's inhale, length to the spine, and exhale, let the arms twist with us as we twist to the left. And then release the right arm down inside the right leg. Let the left arm reach skyward. Yeah, so you're not bringing it in a loop overhead, you're just letting it cartwheel with your body. Yeah. And pause here for a moment. Now root down into the foot on the blocks and see if you can lengthen the right side body a little bit. And breathe into opening across the wingspan. Fluid breath. And then exhale, float back up. Now you could do that same twist with the arm just resting, hand maybe on the back of the chair or resting down onto your own sacrum. Okay, so don't feel like you have to lift the arm. If you want to come into the full twist, we're going to take the wings open again and exhale, twist to the left and bring the right arm down inside the leg again. And this time, bring the lifted left arm down towards the seat of the chair and turn the palm upside down so the palm's facing out from your sacrum behind you and walk it around the strap. Walk it around the strap towards your right knee. And the right arm can reach around the shin and up towards the left hand. Now, you may not get there. You're holding the strap with the left hand, but stay broad and open across the collarbone. Fluid breath. Yeah, these look nice. Release the collar away from the ears. Nice work, everyone. And then as you're ready, exhale and unwind. Let's take the blocks underneath the left foot. Left foot steps up onto the blocks. 4 corners are engaged, right leg long. You want a little space, so usually we measure pinky to thumb between the thighs. And then we inhale, and let's float the wings. And exhale, twist to the right. And release the left arm to the inside of the left leg. if it feels okay, keep the left wing open. I mean, the right wing open. Fluid breath. You can press down into the right heel and down into the left foot, thinking of lengthening the left side body a little bit. Breathing into the twist. Letting the tension fall out of the pose with the exhales as much as is possible while still holding integrity in the pose. And exhale, release the lifted wing and come back up. This time, lift your strap if you'd like to. And inhale, lengthen through the crown. Exhale, twist and fold. Same pose. But this time, release the strap back down towards the chair seat. Bring the right hand so the palm faces back behind you at the sacrum and walk the hand around towards the femur bone. Stay open across the collar. You can pull down with the left hand on the strap, rooting those knuckles towards the floor. Or you can wrap the left arm around the shin, reaching it up towards the right fingers. Fluid breath. Beautiful. And then as you're ready, exhale and release. Very nicely aligned poses. Let's step the feet off the block and come to standing. Okay, our last twist for the day is our revolved Ardha Chandrasana. So bring your chair to the end of your mat one more time. So we've done Parsvottanasana and we've done Virabhadrasana 3, both poses that are going to get us ready for this twist. But if that doesn't feel good, if you've had enough twists, then just go ahead and do Virabhadrasana 3 again, because that'll work with you on balance. So stand in your Tadasana in front of the chair seat and inhale, reach for the sky. And exhale, fold forward. Hands to the seat of the chair. Inhale your cow. Exhale your hissing cat. Notice if the low back has released any, release the tailbone. Invite the breath to fill the back body. And then straightening the legs, float your right leg up behind you. Float the left arm off the chair. And as you're ready, rooting onto the right arm, begin to float the left arm skyward. Or sorry, the right arm. Yeah, whatever. Left arm. I'm watching Susie now. Float the lifted arm skyward. Try not to drop the opposite hip. Stay level across the pelvis. Beautiful, Karen. Release the shoulders away from the ears. Yeah, very nice. Stable poses. Fluid breath, lengthening from crown to heel. Feeling into your strength, your ability to balance, and release the lifted hand back to the seat of the chair. Step down. As you're ready, float into your cow with an inhale and your hissing cat with an exhale. And take a few cats and cows, relaxing into the fluid motion. Really breathing into the low back. Keeping the back of the neck long as you come into the cat. Yep. And now come back to neutral. And as you're ready, float up the next side. Toes pointing towards the floor. Find your level pelvis. Are you trying to remember which side we did? We floated the left leg up, right? Yeah. No, now you're floating. Anyway, level your pelvis. Release the opposite arm to your standing leg. The opposite arm to your standing leg. There you go. And as you're ready, float that wing onto your back body, shoulder blades strong. Oh, am I wrong? Susie's looking at me like, you're crazy. I usually guide it while I'm in it. No, you're right, Susie. Release the arm on the same side as your standing leg. Sorry, that would have been really hard to do. And float the shoulder blade onto your back, lengthening through the crown. Release the neck. And as you're ready, twist it open. Yeah, trying not to drop the hip of your lifted leg. Stay long from heel to crown. Release and lift the back of the base of the skull, not just the chin. Yes, fluid breath, rooting down into your standing leg. Feel the inhale come into the body. As the exhale falls away, settle into the pose. Beautiful. And release. Hand back to the chair, foot back to the floor, and inhale your cow. Exhale your hissing cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, hissing cat. Knees bend, let the tailbone release earthward and breathe into the low back. Relax the collar. The elbows can become soft. Good. Now lengthen the spine, bend the knees, let the hands float to the heart. One more Utkatasana. And in Utkatasana, allow the hips to release earthward, the shoulders to release towards the hips. Follow the invited inhale in and let the exhale fall away. And as it falls away, allow yourself to release into the pose. And release your arms and let them swing gently without hitting the seat of your chair. And float yourselves up to standing. Okay, let's put the chair at the end of the mat. And let's come down to the floor. You may want a sandbag today if you have a sandbag, or you may want a couple blankets, one to put over you and one to lay across your belly. Some of you might prefer to lift your hips. We did standing poses most of this class today, so you may want to just come into your waterfall pose. So first, though, we're going to either lift our feet onto blocks or onto the chair seat for bridge pose. So I'm offering you the chair seat today because if we lift up towards the shoulder girdle, you'll have more length with which to release each vertebrae towards the floor. So as long as your socks aren't going to slip on the chair seat, you can be here, arms in robot arms. Let your spine settle. Feel the back of the head and make sure you don't activate too much in the neck as you float the pelvis skyward, broad across the back body, strong down the length of your arms. Take a deep inhale at the top. And then exhale, release one vertebrae at a time towards the floor. And really feel for that vertebrae letting go into the hug of gravity. The fascial tissue getting to stretch around each vertebrae as it releases down. The beauty of the feet being higher up on the chair is that we can really usually get more into the lumbar curve in our release. Come to your neutral curve. And then exhale, tailbone towards sky, flatten the low back, peel the sacrum off, and then each vertebrae one at a time skyward until you lift back up into your bridge. Take a deep inhale at the top. And exhale, float down again, one vertebrae at a time. And like we've been letting go the exhales, letting them fall away, let the vertebrae really release into the hug of gravity. Down, back into your neutral curve. And then one more time, exhale, tailbone towards sky, peeling the spine off until you're lifted up onto your shoulder girdle. And then exhaling vertebrae by vertebrae back down to the floor. And when you get to the bottom, rest Place your hands on your femurs. Let your hands just rest up, palm onto the femur. Relax your legs. Having the legs up like this is healthy blood flow. Lift your feet up towards the sky. Let your knees open towards your armpits and take the outer edges of your feet and rock back and forth, half happy baby. I mean, full happy baby. Fluid breath. Now you can hold your two big toes with your peace fingers if you like. And you can take the legs open into a straddle. Supta Upta Vista Konasana. Letting the legs settle down in the pelvis. Maybe stretching through the heels. Perhaps rocking tailbone towards earth, tailbone towards sky. Whatever feels good for you to help you stretch open in the legs and hips so that you'll really be able to release them earthward in our restorative. And then bringing the feet back in, bring your calves to the chair. And you can decide whether you want to put a sandbag over your pelvis right here with the pelvis on the floor, or whether you would prefer to lift the pelvis and place your bolster underneath it or a yoga block and bring your blanket over the top of you, your eye pillow over your eyes if you have one, and let yourself rest into Shavasana. So after all of the twisting we did in class today, we wanted to end with some symmetrical work with the spine. So we did the bridges and the rolling and the happy baby pose to help the spine come back into a neutral setting. And now in our restorative, we rest. Fluid breath. And we play with the koans again. Am I breathing or am I being breathed? When I breathe, where does the breath go? And what happens even in this pose when I no longer hold myself up? Your mind is active. See if you can allow even the thoughts to fall away with the exhales for the last few minutes of restorative. Gently deepen the breath and invite movement into the fingers and the toes and a gentle stretch through the body. And as you're ready, lift your legs and arms towards the sky and let them shake. You feel that shaking down from the fingers through the forearms, down into the shoulders and torso. And the shake from the legs down through the calves and shins, the knees, all of the muscles of the upper leg into the pelvis and the low back, into the stomach and the abdomen. Moving the prana, moving the lymph and the blood. And then pause and just feel your limbs. Settle them down into the torso. Come gently up to a comfortable seat. I invite you to notice the breath this week. And for one more moment, feel into your breath. Are you breathing or are you being breathed? Are you capable of letting the exhales fall away? And as the exhales fall away, can you release any lifting up that you're doing in the body? Allowing yourselves to fully ground. Let's inhale the hands to the heart. May we be present with our breath and our ability to let go, release, and fully ground. Namaste. Thank you for your practice.